Breaking news, Lions fans. Once again, the Honolulu Blue and Silver will be returning to the silver screen as one of the Lions' superstars is going to be appearing in a Netflix series. We're going to talk about it, so stay tuned.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends, fans, and family members. Welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. So folks, earlier today it was announced that Lions quarterback Jared Goff would be starring alongside quarterbacks Kirk Cousins and Joe Burrow in Netflix's popular series called Quarterback. So, as I said in the intro, the Honolulu Blue and Silver is once again going to return to the silver screen. This series is going to premiere for its second season sometime in July. We don't exactly have an exact date just yet, but obviously that will probably come out in the next couple of weeks, if not month or so. What this is going to do is it's going to allow the Lions quarterback to showcase in-depth and never-before audio and video access that gives not only us Lions fans, but also those around the NFL, a bird's eye view, unprecedented access as to what makes Jared Goff so special, not only to the Lions, but also probably to other people. The series, obviously, as we already know, is going to be produced by the NFL, but the other thing that I didn't exactly already know is that it also is being produced by Peyton Manning via his production company, Omaha Productions. So this is definitely going to be a very, very interesting thing. I know it's not the first time the series has come out, but the fact that you have Jared Goff in this, that is very interesting. That is very tantalizing. And as I said, this is not the first time that a Detroit Lions player has been involved with this particular type of show. Amon-Ra St. Brown is also being featured, was featured, in the other show that came after Quarterback called Receivers, and that came out last year. But again, as I said, to have such a special viewing as to what the Lions do with Goff and how Goff interacts with the team and, all the different members of the team and organization, it's such an extremely awesome opportunity that us few fans are realistically going to get to ever witness, because it's like, okay, Lions fans are definitely going to be interested in this, and I guarantee you it's not just us that's going to be interested. There's a lot of people that are going to be particularly interested to see what exactly goes on here. Now, for many Lions fans, Goff has obviously become a legend, not only in the community, but also to the team. First and foremost, let's understand something here. He's the first quarterback to win a playoff game for the Lions in, 30-plus years when it happened. He's been nominated as Walter Payton Man of the Year twice from the Lions. So this guy clearly has a lot of, popular standing and respect in the community and with the team. And it's kind of funny, actually, because this is a guy that at one point was shunned by a large part of the fan base, but now the large majority of that fan base has now embraced him, and they view him with a status that, quite frankly, no other Lions quarterback has had since the days of Bobby Lane. And let's understand something here. Since there was no camera access like there is today, to get to see Goff in such an intimate detail and, behind the scenes, it's really a real treat. So, one thing I will say here after doing some research is, while we're not necessarily going to see, the personal meetings with Coach Campbell, all the on-field conversations from all the games that we played this year, those are going to be available to be used in the show by the production team. We're also going to get we're probably also going to get in-depth detail and information in regards to things like practice, possibly film study, the weight room. So we're getting, like I said, unprecedented access to some of the daily activities that Goff does while he's with the Lions. Now, I'm going to say this. While that's all fine, great, grand, and glorious, I'm telling you this right now, there are certain things that I'm definitely 100% not only looking forward to seeing, but I'm certain they're going to be in there. And what I'm talking about are a couple of the games from the 2024 season. The games that I'm particularly interested to see in the production is the Rams game, the Seahawks game, the Bills game, and the Jags game. Because those games, they instantly come to mind as different things that fans are going to want to see for a couple of different reasons. Let's go back to the first one I mentioned, the Rams game, which obviously was our kickoff game. That was the game that kicked off the season for both the Rams and the Lions. And this game was pretty much known as the playoff rematch game because this was the game where the Lions had a chance to play against the Rams again. The Rams were getting a chance to come back to Detroit to get a rematch against us after we had beaten them in the wild card round in the 2023 playoffs, 24-23. This also marked the second time that Stafford would return to his former stomping grounds to face not only against his former team, but also against Goff, ever since, the blockbuster trade that happened in 2021. Now, I will say this. The game was not one of Goff's finest, but what it did do is it did demonstrate that the Lions were a contending team, and that as, Campbell had said about Goff, that he was more than good enough for the Detroit Lions to get them to where they wanted to go, which is obviously to get to and win a Super Bowl. It also demonstrated that once again, following the trade, Goff was able to get a win over his former team and coach, Sean McVay, which kind of, I think, added an equaling effect. I wouldn't say totally, but it added more of an equaling effect to a very high, personal trade tension that's been well documented between Goff and, McVay ever since it happened. And for me, I'm really looking forward to this because it's like, okay, we don't really hear a whole lot out of Goff, prior to the game, especially when, we have these interviews and media sessions. So to kind of actually hear what he's thinking on the sideline or what he's thinking on the field, especially with that being the first game of the year, I'm really particularly interested, pardon me. So as I said, that's game number one I'm looking forward to. Game number two, this one just pretty much writes itself. The perfect game. I'm telling you this right now, there is absolutely no way that this game is not going to be on any of the episodes for the upcoming season of the show. And I'm guaranteeing you this game's going to get heavy coverage because Goff had by far the best game that any quarterback has ever had in the NFL its entire history. He was absolutely electric in this game, doing something that had largely been deemed impossible to accomplish prior to him doing it, which was completing 100% of his passes with over 15 attempts. Because if you go back to that game, Goff was 18 of 18, which is 100%, 292 yards, 16.2 in average a throw, had 2 passing touchdowns, which came up to 11.1 touchdown per throw percentage, no interceptions, which means 0 interception percentage, 155.8 passer rating, and a 94.2 QBR. I mean, that's as good as a game you're going to ever find out of a quarterback. You're not likely going to find another quarterback that's going to complete 18 out of 18. You're not likely also going to find a quarterback that also not only was a terror through the air passing, but also received a passing touchdown of his own. Because you go back to that game, Goff also scored as a receiver on a pass from Amon-Ra St. Brown, which kind of capped the legendary performance of what Goff was able to do in that game. So not only was that play memorable in its own right, it was a memorable night for Jared Goff. And I guarantee you that game's going to get talked about. So then that brings us to the next game, which is, I call it Mr. Perfect Strikes Again, because that's the nickname that Jared Goff has, is Mr. Perfect. And while Goff didn't have another perfect completion percentage game, though he was pretty damn close, he only missed 5 throws, he accomplished the other extremely difficult quarterback feat, which is the perfect passer rating game. Goff literally became the first and only quarterback in NFL history to have both a perfect completion percentage game and a perfect passer rating game in the same season. And when you have a perfect passer rating, that typically means you have to have just an absolutely monstrous, crazy game. And you go back, Goff sure as hell did have a monstrous, crazy game. In that game, Goff was, hold here, I just have to put my paper down. Goff was 24 of 29, which was for 82.8 completion percent. He had 412 yards in that game. He had 4 touchdowns, which amounted to a 13.8 touchdown percentage per throw. He had no interceptions, so again, obviously a 0% interception percentage per throw. The perfect passer rating, and he also had a 94.6 QBR. I mean, again, you're talking about a quarterback playing at a level that is very, very unprecedented. And like I said, the only quarterback in NFL history to have both a perfect passer rating game and a perfect completion percentage game in the same season. So that puts Goff in some very elite company. But then there's the final game that I guarantee you they're going to have on that show. I call it the MVP showdown game. That was the game when we played against the Bills. The previous one was against the Jags. That game against the Bills that I'm about to talk about, highly, highly anticipated game because of the fact that you had 2 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL going toe-to-toe. Both of them were in the MVP conversation, and both of them were going at it to try and get crucial victories for their team's ability to get the number 1 playoff seed. Obviously, the Lions did. If I recall correctly, I don't think the Bills did. In fact, I'm pretty confident I don't think they did. But either way, the point of the matter is that while Goff did not get the victory against the Bills in that game, he was, trying to also avenge that loss that we had back in 2022, which was also a close loss. I think we lost like 28-25 in that game, whereas this one I think we lost 48-42 or 48-45, something like that. But if you take a look at the game and you go back, it sure as hell wasn't because of lack of willpower or effort from Goff. Because Goff did damn near everything he could to win that game, and he was this damn close in actually being able to pull it off. When we had a defense that had literal no resistance almost for Josh Allen and the Bills' offense, and Goff didn't have really much of a running game in that game. I think we had less than 50 yards rushing in that game. So Goff was literally doing it virtually all by himself. And when you take a look at the stupendous effort he put up, it's just absolutely nuts. Goff was 38 of 59 in that game for 64.4 completion percentage rate. He had 494 yards, 8.4 an average a throw, had 5 passing touchdowns, 8.5 touchdown percentage per throw. Again, no interceptions, so also no interception percentage per throw. Had a 118.9 passer rating and a 76.3 QBR. I mean, you talk about a quarterback just putting the team on his back and trying to do everything he possibly can to win that game. It was quite literally 2 quarterbacks just going toe-to-toe and dueling with each other, throwing haymakers for all they were. And ultimately what it came down to is that Josh Allen was able to get the last one in because, like I said, our defense just could not stop him in the Bills' offense that game. But I'm telling you this right now. Based on these games that I just talked about and many others that Goff has played in from last year where Goff was also pretty damn good, I'm willing to bet you this. This series is going to be must-watch TV for Lions fans. And then you also have Joe Burrow that's in it as well, and he's going to probably, along with Goff, make this the most watched show for the summer for, like Netflix and maybe for all of the streaming services. Because it's going to be must-watch TV to be able to watch both of those guys. In fact, I think it might even be a contender for, Max's Hard Knocks when it comes out for viewing audiences. I will say this, though. The only downer to the show for this year is going to be the fact that Kirk Cousins is coming back. Because, well, let's be entirely honest here. Kirk Cousins had a very mediocre season with the Falcons, and nobody's really going to want to watch him. Unless you're just a diehard Kirk Cousins fans, because I guarantee you the Falcons fans aren't going to be all that, whatever about it either. But I'm willing to bet that the star power of Goff and Burrow is most likely going to overshadow it, and, the show's going to still do pretty damn well regardless. But either way, I just wanted to talk about this because I knew this news came out. I was excited, so I was like, okay, got to talk about it because this is actual Lions news. This isn't speculation, rumors, or whatever else have you. But Having said that, I'm going to end this episode and say thank you all for watching yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all to do one of these three things: like, comment, and subscribe. If by chance you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, I want to highly encourage y'all, please make sure you hit that bell notification icon so that way you guys never miss any more content that I push out. Also want to encourage y'all, please, to share the content with your Lions friends and family members. Share it here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you possibly can, because the more we can do that, the greater the channel can grow and spread. And with that being said, to everybody, I hope y'all are having a great day. I hope y'all got something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. I also hope y'all enjoyed the content. I hope y'all got something out of it, whether it's the first time you're watching me or you guys have been watching me forever and a day. And with that, folks, I just want to say to everybody, God bless. And until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.